buying anything, we're only looking to be daft.
Mama always shopped at Hartman's and you loved their sausages.
That was before.
Well, thank you very much. Good morning, ladies.
Morning.
Want to try one?
Oh, thank you very much. We were very glad when we heard that the shop was opening up again. Oh. Our family always bought from our Mr. Hartman.
Really?
You're a relation, people are saying.
That's right, he was my uncle.
Oh.
Pleased to meet you.
Likewise. These are lovely.
Thank you. It's a very economical recipe from Austria. Would you try some, miss?
Nein, danke, Schnaps. And I think people have all got very short memories.
Come on.
Oh, come on. You're not going in?
I am too. Give over. Dada loves a risotto. I'm going to buy a pound.
Well, just make sure they're not full of carpet tacks. Austrian is the same thing as German. Central Forces, the enemy.
Really? Nobody else seems to be holding it against him. Not when his pork's such good value. Careful, you'll have the pattern off that.
Which just shows you the level of folk around here. Sell their souls for a link of sausages.
Very nice that was, Iris. Very tasty.
I bet Billy would take my part.
I doubt it. Billy's far too fond of bacon.
Well, I wouldn't eat his mangy pork balls if they were the last foods on God's earth.
Move yourself.
What's to do?
I was just looking at the postcard of Lily and Gish that Billy sent. Missing him.
He'll be having a whale of a time. All the nice girls love a sailor. All the nice girls love a tar. For there's something about a sailor. Well, you know what sailors are. Bright and breezy, free and easy. He's the ladies' pride.
Shut up, will you?
Honestly, Ruby, leave it be and cheer up. She's had such a bee in her bonnet all day about Joseph Hartman.
You might have killed Walter. Doesn't anyone think that matters?
That's 1,000,000 to 1. 1,000,000,000 to 1. You can't think like that. It'll drive you mad.
Cheese, is it? For breakfast?
I just fancied it.
Oh, a slice of bread not good enough for you? I always get that for my dinners. You are yours and graces. You can eat cheese for breakfast. When you pay for it. What are you doing about a job? Now there's no work for you at the presbytery.
I'm looking. Just need some of the suits.
Well, never mind suits. You need to start earning, lady. It's not mine your sister's job to keep you. There's always the bobbins works.
He's right, mate.
Do I like my job particularly? No, I don't. But I do it. You sit around like Piffy on a rock bun.
Post. Oh, another card from Billy. They've stopped off in Madeira.
Cheeky madam. Listen to this from Marianne Parks. Dear Miss Moss, as you represent Aurora corset manufacturers, I must make you aware that corsets are harmful to a woman's reproductive health and general vitality. Corsets lead to a weakening of the spine and displacement of the internal organs. My associates and I are conducting a campaign against this vile trade.
What? Let's see.
I'll displace her external organs. Lazy Parks. Nosy Parker. Trying to put me out of business. Marianne Parks. I'm Ruby Moss.
Ah, I see. Excuse the mess. Modernisation.
I don't generally shake hands with people who try to put me out of work.
Understood. Well, I'm glad you came. I welcome the opportunity to explain my argument.
So do I. I'm a dab hand at arguing.
Let's conduct the debate according to the Cambridge model. As the challenged party, you put forward your case first, without interruption. I then respond. Agreed?
And who will judge? Your butler. There are corsets and corsets. A wrong size corset or an old-fashioned S-bend, of course, that'll give you the jip. That's why, at Aurora, we only use modern materials in 60 carefully calibrated sizings. For instance, the Excelsior. It doesn't constrain, it simply slims the flanks and firmly supports the lower back. That's interrupting me. Oh, go on. If you can't stick to your own rules. Go on.
But support would not be needed if the muscles and spine were allowed to strengthen themselves. Is my bone and muscle really so feeble that I can't stand without a casing of elastic and metal springs?
No, of course not. We'll get to the end of a hard day's work and you're in need of that bit of support. Not that you'd know that.
But support would not be needed if the muscles and spine were allowed to strengthen themselves. Don't you see? It's a vicious circle. The corset demonstrates to women every day that they are physically inferior, when the corset itself is the handicap. It's pernicious. It is antiquated. It must surely be rejected by all modern women. I appeal to you. Don't perpetuate the myth of the weak woman. We're strong. So very, very strong.
All right, listen, yes, hands on heart. I don't necessarily go for corsets. The blinking cumbersome things, hot, itchy. But where I come from, you may as well go out with your knees showing as leave off your corset. I've listened to you though, and so I don't defend the undergarment in and of itself. But what I do defend is my right to earn my own living and not be dependent on some jack the lad. Do you earn your own wage?
I'm fortunate. I have no need.
Ah, well, there's the rub. All right. A person's dignity should not rest in the smallness of her waist. But a person's dignity does and should rest in her work. And I am a dignified person.
A draw.
A draw.
I think, yes, I would. I want you to come to a picnic tomorrow afternoon, Sefton Park, weather permitting. Do come.
May, be a love and give me an hand with this. May. Honestly, weeks now, you've been acting all highly strung and nervy. We can't afford nerves. Nerves are for the likes of the Brazendales.
I'll help. I'll just wash my hands.
And your face. Oh dear. What on earth have you been doing?
I must have...
It's all round your mouth. You're eating coal. But why?
I can't tell you.
May, you're scaring me.
Oh, Iris, I am. I'm in trouble.
You're expecting?
Iris, what am I gonna do?
How could you? How could you? Who?
Someone. Doesn't matter. What's done's done.
You must fix a date. Yeah, you're not showing yet. Perhaps we can make people think the baby came early. Keep it indoors for a month or two. Maybe no one would guess.
I can't marry him, Iris.
As long as he doesn't blab to anyone.
I said I can't marry him, Iris.
Why not?
What happened here? Have you a pair of ears between yous? I said, what happened here?
I slipped. I'll wash it again. Why can't you marry?
Oh, why do you think? Because he's married already.
May Moss?
Oh, stop looking at me like that. And stop going on at me, it's done.
A married man? I don't believe you. You're trying to wriggle out of getting wed. I'm sorry, May, but you don't have much option.
Mr. Brazendale. It's Mr. Brazendale. Shut you up, hasn't it?
Flinging yourself at your employer of all people.
It takes two to trot.
Well, all I can say is you better pray that you lose it. You better pray that God gives you a second chance.
I must say, she wears this kind of gown, very elegant, very fine brocade. Do you reckon I should take something along to the picnic? Or would that be in for a dig?
In for a what?
It's Latin, not the thing. Marianne's very...
This morning, you couldn't stand Marianne, what's her name? Now all of a sudden she's royalty.
I hadn't met her this morning. I'm interested in new people. Especially with you two long faces. What on earth's up?
Nothing.
I'll take some potted beef sandwiches.
Ruby! Ruby, over here!
I saw the clouds gathered and thought you must have decided otherwise.
Didn't want to drive off in case you came.
Ruby, squeeze in and join us. There we go.
This is my husband, Peter. Yes, I'm married to my best friend.
Hello.
Pleased to meet you, Ruby. Marianne told me that you trounced her, and that's no mean feat.
Peter's a doctor and a writer, and this is Harriet Forbes Hall down from Oxford.
Oh, Mary, thank you.
Well, this is nice.
Oh, tuck in. Oh dear. We look quite Roman.
Don't worry, we can be very early Roman. They were pretty disciplined.
Would you mind taking that off?
Oh.
It's just we don't believe in killing animals for our own wants.
Don't be so fierce, Harriet. You won't know.
You don't eat any meat?
That's part of a general philosophy. See, what we all believe, Ruby, especially after this beastly war, is that we must find ways to raise humanity above the merely animal. So we're not eating meat, we're attempting to break the pattern of the predator animal.
And we hope, perhaps, we become more open to intellectual growth. Make sense?
Yes.
Men and women equally.
Take Marianne and I. There's no superior or inferior brain. But women really have to be freed from the constraint of childbearing.
I suppose there are only so many hours in the day. With too many children under your feet, it'd be hard to read and to learn.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Did you care anything about me at all?
Of course I did.
Do you still?
Yes, I do.
Then you'll do what I want.
That's fine. There's no need to be so worried. I'll pay for everything that you need. I realise that you can't work anymore. We can set up an account at Bunny's. Should we say £1 a week?
No, you don't understand. I need £5 now. For the doctor.
A doctor? For what?
You know very well. I can't go through with this.
May, this is unthinkable.
You won't then?
No, I will not, and neither will you, May. Life is sacred. You should know that.
Not my life, though, eh?
May, I'm so sorry that you feel like this. May.
I want to hate you.
May? You're well, I hope?
I haven't come here for any other reason. Except I need money. £5.
Of course, I'm not going to give you £5.
It's my body, not yours.
If you harm this innocent child, I'll see that the full weight of the law comes down on you.
And I'll bring your reputation down with me.
Fantasies of a jealous parlourmaid. I'm sure you'll be believed. We'll open an account for you at Bunny's for new clothes, good food, whatever you need.
Keep your damned account.
Someone up there really doesn't like us.
Oh, I thought we'd agreed there was no one up there.
Ruby, thank you so much for coming along today. I'd love to visit. Where is it that you live?
Garston. It's not much of a place.
Oh, please. I'd just like to see. To know more about you, mayn't I?
Well, yeah, come for tea.
That would be lovely. When?
Say Friday.
Goodbye, Ruby.
Friday, then.
Portugal Street, number 6.
Bye now.
All right, Teddy. Very good, sir. Oh.
Oh, there you go. Shut your mouth. Did you see a shop opening here? Your uncle was a grand butcher.
I don't know how long I'll be staying, certainly not 30 years. I'm planning to see the world. I've no family. You have 3 daughters.
And a son. Well, we're 2, but, you know, and no more.
Your daughter? The one with the frown.
Ruby? What about her?
Ruby? That's her name? She's quite some character.
Aye. Well, there you go now, that'll fix it.
How much do I owe you?
I could say that I'd do it for free.
Oh, thank you.
But I can't. Business is business. 6pence for the call out and a shilling for the mix.
Right you are.
And another one in threepence if you want the rest of the bottle, which is highly recommended. There you go. Right.
Afternoon, Mr. Moss.
Good afternoon, sir.
Business is going well, I see. Made a little bit extra there.
Go on then, I'll put that in the collection box.
That is very kind of you.
Not in your wildest. That's a shilling right there to put in the box for next year's 12th.
Pleased to meet you. I'm Iris and this is our sister May.
Pleased to meet you.
Well, I hope you haven't gone to any trouble.
Oh, not at all. It's this way. We often dine in the parlour of a Friday when Father gets home.
What's going on? Iris? Why are we not eating in the kitchen?
Dada, this is Ruby's friend, Marianne.
Father, this is Marianne Parks.
Hello there.
Very pleased to meet you, Mr. Moss.
Where's the curtains?
It's Ruby trying to modernise.
Please sit.
I wasn't expecting a full meal. It was tea. How kind. Here you are.
What is this?
Mushrooms a la grecque. Of course, I've made it before.
So, you're in the women's para business with Ruby then?
Oh, I'm afraid not. Quite the opposite.
Marianne holds that the female body shouldn't be constrained, and I'm of the same mind.
I've been working all day. I need more than a mushroom.
Is your sister ill?
Just a bit off colour.
Aye, no wonder.
May I go upstairs?
The lavatory's out the back.
Oh, no. I would just be interested to see the rest of the house. If that's all right, Mr. Moss.
We don't ever have guests upstairs.
But if you like, you're more than welcome to see.
Hey, I'm off down the lodge. I've had enough of entertaining lady muck.
So all three of you cram in together?
It's a huge bed. We're all girls, there's nothing improper.
Father and my brother William share a rather larger room at the back.
It isn't any larger, it's just a different shape. We're quite well off for space compared with many.
Really?
I'm sorry.
What on earth for?
Well, awkwardness.
Not at all. I had a very interesting time.
Really?
Completely. You mustn't worry about a thing, Ruby. You've been posters and you've given me a lot to think about.
Well, that's good. I'm glad. Thanks for coming.
We will see you again very soon, won't we?
Absolutely.
How could you? It was Mama's only swanky thing. It belongs to all of us.
It's a dead dog. It's primitive and barbaric, wearing the skins of dead animals. Where's your self-respect?
No one's asking you to wear it. Where's your respect for Mama? Or for anyone else except for Marianne Blinkin Parks? Oh, can't you see how she looks down on us?
Oh, she doesn't. She could, but she doesn't. Or else why would she want to be friends with me?
I really don't know.
Marianne sees beyond class. It's your imagination, May. It's not her fault you've got the mind of a servant.
I'm nobody's servant, Ruby Moss. I'll tell you that for free.
Well.
You look for all the world like you're ashamed of us. Be careful, Ruby. Since you took up with Marianne, you're turning into a feral snob.
I just wanted to improve myself. There's nothing wrong with that. Well, is there?
The latest sheath is superfine latex rubber. It's highly effective.
But its use must be properly taught. Please insist that the member be withdrawn while still turgid.
Though we would always favour the pro-race pessary as the device of choice.
Once fitted, it is reusable ad infinitum, so no cost factor there. Aesthetically, it's much less intrusive. It is also, and this is vital, within the control of the female, rather than the male. I'd like to quote Margaret Sanger here. No woman can call herself free who has not ownership and control over her own body.
Happily, there has been a push forward regarding the Church's objections. Dr. Stopes' publication, The New Gospel, has a very succinct argument.
No churchgoers here today, are there? Good. Science, in reverent hands, may today more nearly reach divine law than the churches have yet done.
Well done.
Thank you very much.
Last time,
Keep it.
Rubber was around the wheel of the car.
You'll be married soon, Ruby.
Hello, Ruby. I hope we didn't shock you.
Of course we didn't. Ruby's a modern woman. I have to go, Marianne. I'll take the case against animal consumption with me.
Please, take a stack.
Thank you.
Iris? How are you?
Well, thank you, Father.
And your sisters? May?
May. She's as well as she might be.
May's gonna need a great deal of help and care from you.
Suppose half of Liverpool will know soon enough.
Iris. Where's my good Samaritan gone?
Why are women so weak? Forever falling for a handsome face and soft words. Why isn't there the strength to resist? I can't think well of her. Not when she'll bring us all down. Oh yeah, we'll get the name calling, the looks, the judgment.
Isn't that what you're doing right now? Iris. Look inside yourself before you cast the stone. We all of us do wrong in some way. Condemn the sin, not the sinner. I'll pray for you, Iris. Peace be with you.
And also with you.
Fewer wars. Eating flesh is wrong. Less meat, less aggression, fewer wars.
Fewer what?
Wars.
I thought you said what? I'm playing with them.
I admire your determination. How many of those have you given out?
A lot. You'll see the queue outside your shop dwindling rapidly.
Would you like to borrow a warm coat while you're standing there?
I'm perfectly warm enough, thank you. Eating flesh is wrong. Less meat, less aggression.
Are you warm enough? Suppose. You ain't nothing again. Should.
Oh, is she still mourning Foxy Loxy? For goodness sake.
Be quiet.
Grief me. Really too much sitting around. You know what you're
Be
waiting for.
quiet, Ruby. It's late getting to bed.
What am I saying? She's usually so trim. What, is she poorly?
No. Mind your own business. Put out the light.
No, what's the big secret? Oh no, is it something about Billy? Oh, it is, isn't it? As the ship...
Not Billy. It's nothing to do with Billy.
Well, then tell me what? May. It's May, isn't it? You said she's not ill. Is she expecting?
Leave me be.
May! Shh! How much more humiliating can this become?
Shh, Dada!
What do you want me to do? Give her a pat on the back?
No, but we're in this together.
Oh no, it's nothing to do with me. You count me out. I'll sleep on the chaise long.
The what?
The settee!
Oh, go on then, to your posh friends. You think you're so principled, so courageous. You're nothing special. You don't do anything, Ruby. It's all just talk, Ruby. All just blah.
Piggies, off we go. Down the path, off the freezer. That's it. Come on. That's it, here we go. Down the path, that's right. Hey, no. What are you doing? No. Off the veg, no, off. No. No, don't eat the veg, Abilene will kill me. Come on. Hey. Oh, you stupid pig. Move, come on, off there, don't eat that. Come on, piggies, that's it. Oh, for God's sake, come on, off the way. Come on, down there, that's right. Get off the veg. No, get out of there, come on. No, stop. Do you want to be sausages, stupid bloody pigs? I'll kill you myself. Go down the path, goodness sake. Get out of there, I say, go! Down the path! Don't stop! Stop! Come back, pig! Stop! Come back! No!
Well, at least we found them. This the last one?
Yes, thank you.
Calm down. Got her. They spoiled the lot.
Every last flaming sprout ruined.
Don't open it too fast.
Your cabbage is all done for, Father.
All gone.
I don't understand. The gate was chained.
What have we got here?
Sawn through. Done deliberately.
That's hard to take. I thought everybody here had been so kind and welcoming.
It'd be tinkers.
It was me. I let the pigs out. But I never meant for them to spoil all the veg. That was very unfortunate.
It was more than unfortunate, lady.
Ruby, what are you saying?
I meant to release the pigs. I had to take action. Eating meat is just wrong.
This doesn't end here, you know, girl.
I'm sorry, but you'll have to face charges for this.
Yes. I'll speak out in court. I took direct action. The chance was right there, so I took it. A livestock release, and so...
A what?
A livestock release. And so I'm in a scrape, but it's all been for the cause. And I think we can use the publicity for the cause. There'll be a court hearing. I reckon if we're all there, standing in the benches with banners and all sorts, we can show
Listen,
them that.
I'll hear more about your idea later, but it mayn't be quite our thing, a livestock release. Anyway, we were just talking about you.
Ruby Moss. We've been studying you carefully. And we all agree that you're the best person for the task.
We hope you'll become our emissary in Garston, Ruby.
Oh, yes, righto.
We all feel you're just the person to gain access to ordinary women and spread the word.
Oh, about the devices, etc.
That's right.
Well, that's an important mission, and you want me to do it?
Absolutely. We're all agreed. Now, you'd be fully trained and we'd pay you a small salary. What are you getting at the moment?
Well, when I was full at it, around 15 shillings a week.
Then let's say £1.
Now, the most important aspect of your work would be to identify the feeble-minded, the worst stock, the moral degenerates, and to bring that information back to us. These are the ones that must be brought in to be sterilised.
Sterilised? My father cheats animals, doesn't that mean...
Operated on, so that they don't reproduce.
They wouldn't pay. I have friends at the hospital who would do the sterilisation free and gratis.
And moral degenerates would be who?
Criminals, drunkards, half-castes, tinkers, low lax girls who bear illegitimate children. It's vital to racial progress, Ruby. The birth rate is falling dramatically among the educated. For the lower orders, not only the Catholics, the further you descend the scale, thousands of infants of pitiful health and aptitude are being created who are nothing but a drain on society.
I'm from the lower orders, you could say.
But you're an exception. It's best it's not someone from our set. You'd have a much greater rapport.
I'll have to properly read this.
Where is she? Where is she? Where is that girl? You! Get here! You midden! You're not too old for me to put over my knee! Get your ass down there! You have ruined good men's dinner plates! You've ruined the name of us! Hope they throw the book at you! Right? Bugger and work done! Again!
I did it for the papers.
Well, that's all right then, isn't it?
Iris! Help me outside.
What? What's wrong with her?
May? May?
Oh, my legs!
May!
Oh, it's going down!
Has she taken something? May, what have you taken?
Dada's book.
Get the book.
Iris! Iris, make it stop!
Okay, come on, come on.
Got it! Digestive, purgative, hallucinogenic. Do not
What's it say, Ruby?
Stimulates uterine bleeding. Oh, why does she ask?
Get some water. May, you stupid, stupid girl! What have you done? Come on, Ruby. Ready. Drink. Ruby, get the doctor.
Alice, you can't, you'll be charged.
Lord have mercy on Are you going to be sick again? No, don't think so. It hasn't worked, has it? Shh. You're all right. That's all that counts. Some things are just meant to be.
I know. And I would have wanted to have a baby someday. But I wanted to be a moving picture star.
Be upstanding. Be seated.
Mr. Hartman, you lost what livestock?
A pig, one pig. It was drowned in the ditch. The others were caught.
A loss calculated at?
Between 3 and 4 guineas. But it's not so much loss of income as the destruction to another person's work. It's... I don't know the English word. Enttäuscht.
Demoralizing?
Yeah.
Miss Moss, have you anything to say?
Only that, at the time, I did believe what I was doing was right. It was part of a whole way of thinking that we can't just carry on as though the war never happened, can we? We need to question. We need to live differently. I acted because I believed, I still believe, that the slaughtering of animals is wrong. It's too close to slaughtering men.
You're soft in the head, girl.
The damage, though, that wasn't supposed to happen.
So this action was inspired by a notion?
More than a notion, Your Honour. We need to make changes in our whole lives. Women have proved that they can work just as well as men.
Get back in the kitchen.
Please, let her speak.
Women should be allowed to be equal, to think freely and educate themselves, and also to be able to take measures to be in charge of their own fertility, to be free and independent.
You believe this female self-determination should extend to Mr. Hartman's sows?
I'm saying what I believe. A different way of living.
Marianne Parks, may I speak? I crave leniency for Miss Moss. She is a fine young woman who was sidetracked by a moment of misplaced passion.
I'll fight my own corner. I believe, now, I know for a fact that all classes of people and all women deserve opportunity and learning. They should have the means to choose whether or not or when they have babies. That's what it must be used for. Only that. For freedom.
Miss Moss, this court is not a soapbox.
Not so the higher class people can point and choose and say who's good enough and who isn't, because nobody...
Miss Moss!
No, I'm sorry, I just have to say this. Nobody has that right over another person. I'll not stand for it. It's not right and it's not human. And I'm sorry I ever even considered it. I'm sorry.
Do I understand, Miss Moss, that you are expressing regret and remorse?
Yes.
In that case, you will pay compensation of 3 guineas for the loss of the animal. In addition, you will work on the damaged allotments for a period of not less than 50 hours.
Ruby, let's put this right.
Excuse me. You didn't need to... I didn't expect you to come. After how I've been, thank you. Are you all right to be out and about?
Glad of the air.
Ruby, Iris, May, come back to Artemis House with me. Emotion, sentimentality mustn't be allowed to conquer one's intellect. I still believe once you fully understand what...
I do understand. You said yourself, we're just not from the same set. I'm glad I met you there, Marianne. I've learnt a lot. But real life, it wouldn't fit in a pamphlet.
I'll give you a hand.
It's all right.
I don't mind.
Really, it's my sentence after all.
Hard labor.
I think A.B. Lee buried more Roxy especially.
You're a proud woman. You know, Ruby, you must keep thinking.
Thinking?
About the things that matter. The important ideas for society.
Oh, not me. There's enough of big ideas.
I don't believe that.
No, seriously. From now on, I just knuckle down, keep my mouth shut and do my job.
Not you. You won't be able to. To question and to search, it's who you are.
Not anymore. I'm done with all that. Don't set me off.
I've seen you set off.
I might not stop. It's an expectante medium firm. It'll hold things in for a bit.
We're just putting it off, aren't we? You'll find out sooner or later. Later then. All right. And remember, Billy will be home soon. That'll take the heat off.
I'm not going to pull it too tight. It's not good for your innards. Can you still breathe? Check.
Why is there no tea on?
Come in, Dada. I won't be a tick.
I don't know what he'll say when he does find out, but it won't be poetry.
Never mind what he'll say. That's what he'll do. He'll throw me out.
Listen, if he throws you out, he'll have to throw me out as well.
Me too.
Really? Promise?
Cross my heart. We'd all go.
And then who'd make his tea?